covering the elections as the media. We also want to thank the national leadership which came here, especially the president. We still have absolute confidence as the Free State in the leadership of President Zuma. He was elected by branches of the ANC, by members of the ANC. So we want to say to those who say Zuma must resign, Zuma is an elected leader of the African National Congress. He was never elected by those who are saying today in funerals, in the media, in taverns and everywhere that Zuma must resign. Zuma was elected by members of the ANC at conference. So he's an elected leader. In the ANC, we elect leaders. Those who are speaking are not elected leaders by branches. They still have sour grapes. And that's why we invited the Youth League and the Women's League, Sanko and COSATU and SACP. We have been working together. And our list also reflects the relationship between COSATU, SACP, Youth League, Women's League, all the alliance structures, and the mass democratic forces on the ground, be it churches. We have done thorough consultation before we could arrive at this appointment of these mayors. So we want to say to the national leadership, thank you very much, President, and the entire NEC collective. And we are saying to the people of South Africa, Nkandla or no Nkandla, we have won. Because there's no Nkandla here. And I'm sure we can give the Youth League and the Women's League to express some views and appreciation.
As the African National Congress Youth League, we want to appreciate the commitment by the African National Congress and its consistency in terms of ensuring that the youth of our country becomes part of strategic decision-making processes by including them, as we have witnessed that here in Free State, we're having more than 20% of young people being mayors, speakers, some being members of the mayoral committees. This is a true reflection, as we indicated earlier on, that we're not gonna occupy those positions on the basis of threats and utilizing a barrel of a gun. But that will come as a result of a long-standing tradition of the African National Congress of ensuring that it breeds future leaders of this country. So we really welcome the decisions that the ANC have taken to ensure that we are represented as young people. And this must go clearly in the memory lane in our history, that this has happened during the time of our President Jacob Zuma. And we continue to rally unequivocally behind him. And we want to condemn those who are misusing mourning processes like funerals, which are meant to console our people. They misuse these platforms and attack the person of a president. It's cowardice of the highest note, because if you are a genuine activist, you would know that there are platforms and structures in the movement where you must engage in battle of ideas, not misuse funerals. And we also want to appeal to the national leadership of the ANC that there must be a consistency. What you do on the left must be done on the right. It can't be correct that the MKMVA will be called to order when the likes of Sipho Pikana, nothing is said about them. When the likes of some in the Communist Party are going outright defending a minister, forgetting a very paramount important principle of collectivism. You can't defend a minister whereas you are silent about the president of the country who's consistently under attack. So we want to really call for the leadership to ensure that it expands processes of engagement with those who are still caught in the hangovers of conferences that has preceded. President Zuma is our president. We support him. Under his leadership, there is a lot of scientific development that is witnessed by many in the country and in the world. But we also want to say to those who have sold out our revolution, the EFF, who have handed over the revolution that is hard-earned by masses of our people. Peter Mukaba is turning in his grave today now that Julius Malema has betrayed the revolution and handed over the administrative capital of our country to the white monopoly capital led by the DA. We want to reassure masses of our people that in Free State and elsewhere in the country, it will not happen that young people will support a negative, narrow agenda of the white imperialist. That must be noted clearly that even the Metsimahulu today, young people have supported the ANC. Just that this quota system must be changed because it is not reflective of what democracy is all about. You get one vote and then you get a bonus support. Thanks very much, the ANC.
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the young girls from Pretoria High and the young girls from St. Marcus here in Bloemfontein for standing so firm and fights for their rights and show the whole world that black is beautiful. And indeed, black is beautiful. Let me also say to the ANC of the Free State, thank you very much for honoring us as women, especially at the end of the Women's Month. We are very much excited and very much happy. We have heard for yourself that women are 13 and men are 11. It means we have nine. We have even reached about 50%. It's almost 60%. And we are very excited about it. And let me tell you one thing. Women in their nature are very powerful. And I'm definitely sure with the power that they are having, they are going to turn around our municipality. Thank you very much, Ntate Makhatshule, and your ANC. We are definitely going to work hard. And I would like to congratulate everybody who has been elected as a mayor, as a speaker, as a chief whip. Please don't disappoint us. Yes. Most of our people are not working. We are from door to door, and we have seen for ourselves, but and we are the only hope of our people. Sosselberg will be there every week. We are there with our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is the ANC Free State post-election position. Very comprehensive. I think I must be guided if the mayors are presenting the mayoral committee, or we are going straight to questions from my colleagues. And I note the hands of those who wish to get more clarity from the statement that is very comprehensive. Let me note number one.
I can just indicate that already the mayors are from, and the speakers and the chief whips are from Lekgotla. So we have adopted a program of 104 days. In 104 days, we are going to interact with our people, we are going to thank them, we are going to complete projects which are incomplete. So there is a program of action for 104 days, starting from now, adopted already throughout the province. From Monday's week, this weekend we'll be together with the regions and national, and we'll be talking and thanking volunteers of the ANC, branches of the ANC, and then we'll go to communities from next week.
Well, that's another edition which is part and parcel of the program of the ANC in the province, in its leadership of the provincial government as well as municipalities in our province. Can I observe the hands of those who wish to ask questions? I'm noting that there is Pavo from SABC. Let's start with you, and I'll come from other hands.
The ANC has gone agreed to say they want an early conference to be convened. I hear voice of the ANC in the fourth province, particularly Igbo Coast to help. Are you seeing from the same book, if I were to direct that to and also to the PDC, similar question? The second one is on the PR system. Is it a collective voice that you want the PR system to be revised? Is it something that you are working on? Because clearly, from the voices that I heard, there's a lot of unhappiness about it.
Thank you very much. The other hand, Mayor OFM.
How many of the current mayors retained their positions, and why specifically them?
How many?
The current mayors retained their own position.
Continuity.
Continuity.
Thank you very much.
No, can I get another one? And when we will get the announcement of the new COPTA MEC?
The last of the three will still come for another round.
I just want to know if you know what's going to happen with Mr. Tom Manjoni. Where is he going?
Thank you very much. Let me hand over to the leadership to respond to those three questions. We will come for the second one.
I'm going to give the Youth League to talk about the Youth Early Conference. But maybe I must take a swipe on two issues. And then the chair will talk about the continuity, how many are continuing. But I'll be talking about the 2 to 3 issues on the list. I think the PR system, if you check our resolution, the Polokwane resolution, we have requested that, we have resolved as a conference that system should be changed, and the winners must take all. And it was further reiterated by the 2012 conference in Mangaung, so that the system must be looked into, revised, and be changed, and the winners must take all. But still up to now, it has not been dealt with and be changed, that particular system. But it has been our resolutions. In 2 conferences, we have talked about the resolutions. And then I want to touch with the last question that you asked about Thabo Manyoni. And I want to tell this media briefing that Thabo Manyoni is a loyal and disciplined member of the African National Congress. So Thabo Manyoni has been removed as the mayor and then be placed by Mayor Oli as the woman, as we are trying to address the issues of gender. It was not because there was any personal differences with Thabo Manyoni, and then as this provincial executive committee, Thabo Manyoni is still the member of the provincial executive committee and is holding a very high position. So the ANC knows what it's doing. So in due course, we'll come back and tell you what is Thabo Manyoni going to do as the leader of the African National Congress, because this is an organization, we are working as a collective. So Manyoni is part of that collective. It's not yet down and out. And then I want to talk about this one. I don't want the chair of the ANC to talk about it, of the MEC. I want him to talk about the continuity. But the issue of COCTA, in due course, we will talk about the replacement of Mayor Oli as the MEC of COCTA. It will happen. We are just in the process of consultation with all the stakeholders. As our guiding document, the deployment committee guides us, that the premier, in consultation with the secretary, the national office, and other role players in the province, we are busy in that particular consultation. And once we are done with that particular consultation, that press conference will be done. but it will not be done here. It will be done where it belongs, to the provincial government, because it will be announced by government. But we are in that particular process as the African National Congress, and we are not going to talk much about it. So I will give the ANC Youth League, I think we are having Mujale Fabutu, the member of the National Executive Committee, who sits in the NEC, and then who will answer on the issue of the early conference, the view of the ANC Youth League. Remember, as the African National Congress is not our view, is the view of the ANC Youth League. So they will tell us more about it, even ourselves.
Thank you very much, Secretary. Yes, it is our view as the National Executive Committee of the ANC Youth League, having engaged, had rigorous and robust engagement and the post-mortem pertaining the election outcome. It is our view, we are persuading the African National Congress, our mother body. Now we will then allow necessary processes within the African National Congress to unfold, where persuasion will take place, and we will engage and be engaged reciprocally. So we remain firm and convinced for now around that particular view that ANC should convene an early conference to address many other issues that we have raised. So for now, yes, it is our position. We're guarding firm around it. We remain intact, but we're able to be persuaded on the basis of basically that any thesis will have antithesis. Now we must be engaged, we must be convinced, but this is the ANC that we know, an ANC that listens, the ANC that is prepared to engage us on this matter. Hence we are saying, under the leadership of President Zuma, we are enjoying that platform of growing within the rank and file of the movement, of being persuaded and pursuing as such. Thanks.
Yeah, on the continuity, I think we try to make sure that we have 50% continuity, because the mayor of Mangaung now will be continuity. Mayor Oli was the chair in the legislature of local government and governance. You have the mayor of Litsimeng, Richable, retained. Mayor Matwa is here, retained. Mayor Muchela is here, retained. Mayor Mohoja, retained. Mayor Vose Chavala, the youth, retained. Mayor Mutaum Pumelela, retained. Mayor Vilakazi Tabom Futsanyana, retained. Mayor Siakebu Tumelo, they are all here. Tokoloho, retained. The mayor of Mafube, Sigaza, has been retained. And where you don't have this, some of the mayors, is because the mayor, for instance, of Dihlabi has finished two terms. In terms of Local Government Act, if you have been a mayor for 2 terms, you can't then, like premier for 2 terms, you can't then be premier, like president for 2 terms, you can't be. So some of the things is just that some of the mayors were on the list. So in terms of our performance of PR, I've just shown you, they were right at the top of the list, but they couldn't just come in. One mayor was number 2 on the PR gave us 1 seat. So if they were there, they were definitely going to come in, and that's why we are actually emphasizing this point. Same with the speakers. We have retained a lot of speakers as a way forward, but we also wanted to give way to the young people. So we had to make sure that we match all those guidelines which we approved ourselves.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there's now clarity on the issue of, in particular, the deputy chair of the ANC in the province. The leadership should know. We have been answering that question every day since elections up until now. Media has got huge interest, and it has been our consistent position that when the leadership of the ANC is ready, we'll come back to you and brief you on those issues. The positions of the Youth League are the positions of the Youth League. Whatever that the leadership of the Youth League has said here is the right of the Youth League to develop views and engage the leadership of the ANC. I hope there's also clarity about that, so that we are not going to deal with the Youth League said this, implicating the ANC and all of that. Can we take another round, probably the last one, of questions? OEFM wants to do a follow-up as well as you. Let's take the weekly. Another one, we will be closing. Any hand, nothing. The weekly, and afterwards it will be OFM back and med, and then that will be the closure of it. That is up.
I just need to get clarity on the issue you are continuing. The Premier said that the Premier that he could not be retained because he had served 2 terms. But the same applies to that he served 2 terms immediately, so he's now been moved to, no, he served 2 terms immediately.
A term is 5 years. Once you break your 5 years, it's not a term.
Okay, that's exactly what it will be. And the issue is not what actually to the ANC, not securing the municipality.
What is your question? Can you speak louder, my brother? We don't hear. Or during the coalition discussions. All right. Mayor, OFF.
Okay, also touching on Ms. Maholo, I just want to find out, besides the PR system, how is the ANC planning to gain control in the next elections of the municipality?
All right. Mayor, last one.
I just want to know if you can give copies value of the place.
Certainly, you will get copy of the media statement. All right, if that is all, let me give it to the leadership then to deal with the 2 questions, and that will be all.
Can you repeat the first one?
The first one is the Tapelo, what happened during the coalition discussions that the ANC could not broker a deal in engaging all these organizations. Number 2 is also on Metsimaholo. The issue of what is it that the ANC going to do to retain Metsimaholo. And I think it was said, but the leadership can always repeat that there's never an invitation to speak more and provide clarity. They are the only 2 questions.
Okay, I think in Metsimaholo, as we have earlier indicated, that there was no political party which was going to run Metsimaholo as on its own, including the African National Congress, because we were at 45%, and then we were followed by DA at 26%, and the EFF at 8%. So there was no party that was going to run that municipality on its own. For the African National Congress to run that municipality, we needed, because we had 19 solid seats as the African National Congress, we needed 3 seats to have a simple majority, 23 of the parties supporting us. We had the engagement with other parties, particularly the Metsimaholo Civic Association. But those, I'm not going to disclose what were the engagement pertained in the packages, but we had the discussions, but we indicated to the parties that were in.
As you can see, those are the mayors and the premiers in their first meet since the municipal elections meeting in Free State. We've seen Ace Magashule, also the president of the ANC Youth League, speak as well, also a representative there from the ANC Women's League. But in a nutshell, they're busy sharing their plans for the Free State ahead, and also just once again affirming, or reaffirming rather, the confidence that they have in President Jacob Zuma.